Hi folks, this is Max from GalaxyS2Root.com. So today I'm going to show you how to install a new ROM. First of all, before you install a new ROM, it's going to erase all your apps and settings. So I highly recommend you to install Titanium Backup to back up all your apps. And I'll have a link on a video on how to use Titanium Backup. And also update your go make sure you have ROM manager installed and update it to the latest version. Open it and make sure you flash the latest version of Clockwork Mod Recovery by choosing Samsung T-Mobile Galaxy S2, and also make a backup of your rooted stock ROM, because it's always a good idea that you can go back. I'll have a link on how to make a backup too. And once you've done those, then let's go copy over the file. While this is going, go download the ROM zip file. Usually it's in a zip format. Connect it as storage. You can download it straight to your phone, but I highly recommend using your computer because ROMs can be like 200 megabytes and it's so much faster on the computer. So I'm going to go and copy over Eagle Blood SGH, this ROM, newest ROM. And actually I'm doing that right now. You can copy it over to your internal or your SD card, external SD card. I'll give you a quick see. I'm copying over the file to the ROM file to my SD card real quick, and that's almost done. And next we're going to use our Clockwork Mod Recovery to install the ROM. And that's installed complete, or copying over is complete, so I'm going to disconnect. I'm going to go back to ROM manager to see if it flashed the file. I should have waited, but it did flash. As you can see, current recovery, Clockwork Mod Recovery 5.0.2.6. Next, you can use these menus, but sometimes it gets gets a little bit iffy. So I'll just show you how to do it manually, which is pretty simple anyways. And make sure you made a backup. Reboot into recovery. Say OK. And so there's two backups you gotta make. The ROM backup in Clockwork Mod Recovery, which backs up your whole ROM, app settings and everything. And Titanium backup, which backs up your apps and also settings. There's an option for that. But the important thing is the apps. Anyway, here you can go to backup and restore and back up your whole ROM, which I recommend you to do, and also use Titanium Backup Manager. Because this ROM, when you restore it, it's going to restore the whole ROM. So when you put the new ROM, you want to use Titanium Backup to restore your apps. But if something goes wrong, then you can restore your whole ROM. So that's why you need those two backups. And now we're going to do wipe data factory reset. Hit the power button. Say yes. Hit the power button. Let me zoom in so you can see better. And let me adjust the camera real quick. There we go. Hold on. And next, what you want to do once it's did the wipe thing, install zip from SD card. Hit the power button. Choose zip from SD card or choose zip from internal SD, depending on where you copied it over. I think I did the internal. And I did. So I got the Eagles Blood ROM that I copied over earlier. Whatever ROM it is, choose it and hit the power button. Choose yes and hit the power button. And this will start installing the new ROM with a bunch of custom messages the ROM developer put on there. So this one actually wipes your system and data, so I didn't really have to wipe. It was going to do it anyways. So this should take like 5 minutes and I'll be back when this is done. So it is done. I didn't get any error. It says install is successful. So go back and hit the power button. Reboot system now, hit the power button. And we should have a new ROM installed. And by the way, don't install ROMs made for Galaxy S2. That's for the original international version, which is different from T-Mobile. The T-Mobile one uses different processor. It uses the Qualcomm S3 1.5 GHz dual core, which makes this file system slightly different from the other Galaxy S2s, which use Samsung's Exynos 1.2 GHz. They're pretty much different processors, and the file system is different. So I don't want you to brick your phone. So only flash ROMs that clearly state for T-Mobile Galaxy S2, not for AT&T or whatever. I had this guy who flashed a AT&T ROM on a Epic 4G Touch for Sprint. Luckily that their file system's nearly identical, so he was able to recover it. But I think you might be able to break your phone if you try to flash an AT&T or a Sprint or any other Galaxy S2 ROM for the T-Mobile, because the T-Mobile version is different. T-Mobile uses 1700 megahertz for voice frequency versus 1900 megahertz, which is on AT&T, and that's another thing different. So there's so many differences. Also, the ROM loaded up. If it loaded up fine, you're good to go. Otherwise, if for some reason you get stuck in a boot loop or something, you can always restore in Clockwork Mod Recovery. That's why you made the backup, in case something goes wrong. Because okay, I did. Okay. Let's try TW launcher. Yeah, it's just booting up and it's all going crazy, but I got it boot up. So I'm getting data and Edge because I'm in my basement. I don't get that much great signals. So let me go check that I have a new ROM. You can always go to About Phone. So I have Eagle Blood 1.0 ROM. I'll have a ROM review of this also, and it comes with 2 launchers. Let me check out. Okay, well, you can always just set it as default. TW launcher is the TouchWiz launcher, which I prefer anyways. Anyway, that was how to install a new ROM on a T-Mobile Galaxy S2. It should be similar for other Galaxy S2, but I just made this just for T-Mobile users because I want you to update your Clockwork Mod Recovery to the latest one. And then, so that's it. Check out more tips at Galaxy S2. Thanks, y'all.